There's the Saskatchewan Rush warming up tonight here at Co-op Field, SaskTel Center. Tonight, though, it's Sask Vegas, the Rush, and the Calgary Roughnecks. As we get a chance to say good evening, Saskatchewan, and welcome to the Rush Hour Live, the pre-game show, getting you set for the Rush. The Calgary Roughnecks tonight, Cody Jansen's alongside Sabine Ahmad will be featured down at field level, speaking of some of the Rush players, and we got a great show tonight, and it's good to be back at home, Cody. Good to see you.
We got a good stretch here. We've talked about it all season. This is what we're looking forward to, and now you get 4 more home games in a row, and it all starts tonight. It's a playoff vibe out there. We know in Saskatchewan you can't afford any more losses, so looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun night, casino night too.
Happy hour is on for Original 16, $5 beers everywhere, and it is Sask Vegas tonight. So check out these bad boys. The Saskatchewan Rush are going to wear these during the warm-ups today. I don't know if they... Well, the goalie's got it on right now down at the field level.
You got to show the back, too.
But these are cool.
You got the cards on the back.
On the back.
Rush
you got
cards.
The cards on there. So down the concourse, there's casino table games happening right now in the 016 lounge as well. There's a look. You get a look at the Rush netminder wearing the wonderful Sask Vegas jersey. So your chance to win one of these if you're watching on Facebook, and we get a chance to say good evening to everybody watching. Ben's watching and says, "Go Rush, go," and says hi. Randy, hello. Archie, hey, Paul. Druin's watching as well, so we say hello to everybody who's watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Get your comments in throughout the night. But Vegas night tonight, you get a chance to play any of those casino games yet?
No, I didn't. That's dangerous, though. It's fun. Like the Dunes is awesome, and so anytime you get a chance to do it, it's cool. It's a fun vibe in here. There was a lot of buzz on social media too. Like I was seeing people posting like, "Oh, I can't wait to go. It's going to be a fun evening." I know a lot of people that drove down from Alberta. They're coming from all over Swift Current. They're looking forward to Rush Lacrosse. It's an exciting time of the season, and playoffs are still in the picture.
Yeah, they really are. They are in the picture. We'll get to that. I'm a blackjack guy. What's your game?
Oh, I'm a blackjack guy, too. Yeah.
Sabine might be on the tables. I'm not sure.
Actually, roulette. I've gotten more into roulette. Now, it's the worst because it's either like you feel like a genius or you're not. But blackjack's a safe game. If I'm feeling crazy, straight to roulette.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit of a gamble when you got to watch other teams play that affect your playoff standings. And as we get set for tonight's game, we go back to last night's game, San Diego and Vancouver, with some playoff implications for the Rush that we'll get to.
That shift, we might see a little bit of Reed Bowering hanging out in the offensive zone side, something that the Warriors are not adverse to. More Reed Bowering is a good thing. He's done so much for this team this year.
Doby scores. A little inside jelly roll there from the former MVP, and he slips. And he'll get another possession here for his Vancouver Warriors. Good work there for Ryan Martel.
Hear the smattering of applause in the crowd who appreciates that. Good hustle.
Just on the dive, scores! Short side for the Buffs, and we're tied at 2. Killen will switch spots. Ball all wrapped up. Trying to evade holding. Skip it across. Down to the crease, and Killen's got one. Noble out there as well. Here comes the double. Stick in the lane there for Mitski. Took a shove in the back. 2 on the shot clock. And they're going to count it. Shorty for Greer. Hit 30 for Vancouver as they'll go in behind the goal there. Merrill, Bradley, holding. Here's Killen again. Scores. Top corner. 4 for 67. Merrill's going to get a clean cut. Short-handed breakaway from center. In comes the legend. Scores. Another short-handed goal for San Diego.
Let's try to get a reset. And San Diego in possession.
Greer comes out for a power play shift. Doby. Here's Hickey down to the crease. Back door. And into it. Back of the goal it goes for Dane Doby. We're tied at 12.
Stuff behind the play. Can't afford to take an unsportsmanlike on top of this.
Charlene Beatties. Shorty. He's got to get rid of it. He'll fire it up the turf. Salt pressured. He's got it. He's got an empty net. Here's a goal for Keegan Paul. And that'll do it for the Warriors. Ball into the empty net. 14-12 Vancouver. 11 seconds to go.
Well, Cody, San Diego made it interesting, but Vancouver in the end with the win. And as we take a look at those standings in the West here in the NLL, that result doesn't help Saskatchewan last night.
Not at all. And I was talking to a lot of people before the game. They thought it was a trap game for San Diego. Turns out it was. And they go to Vancouver and they lose. And that hurts because now the Rush sit 2 games back. Yes, if they win tonight, they're only 1 game back. But end of the day, Vancouver's still a team they can tie for 8-10 to get into that 3rd playoff spot if they beat them later on in the season. So you're still chasing Panther City. You're still chasing Calgary, essentially. But as long as you can get, 4-1 to close out the season, if you sit in that 3rd place in a tie with Vancouver and Panther City at 8-10, as long as you've got the season series against them, Saskatchewan's got a real shot at playoffs here. Like, this isn't a Hail Mary anymore, but you've got to start winning games at home.
Yeah, really do. We're going to get to that scene setter, Saskatchewan and Calgary, both teams sitting with 4 wins. Calgary with 2 games in hand on that. But before we do, let's go down and join Sabine Ahmad.
Thanks so much, guys. And real quick, roulette is my choice. Do you have a preference for games, Matt?
Blackjack, probably.
All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk more important things. We're talking about the game tonight. I got defender Matt Beers joining me with Saskatchewan Rush. Matt, talk about the intensity of the game. We know it gets real physical, especially against Calgary. What are you guys planning for tonight?
We're planning for a team that's got the playoff hopes on the line just as we do. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a game of who can make the least amount of mistakes. And I think for us, we'll go out there, we'll be aggressive, we'll play our game.
How hard is it not to keep your emotions in check, though, when you're playing this hard and you know how important these games are for you?
I think that's where the veteran group comes into play. We got a lot of good leaders here. We've been in must-win situations for a while. We haven't come out on the right side of those a few times, but I know our approach is the same. We're going to come out there, and for us, this is a lacrosse game, and once you can step on the floor, that kind of takes over.
Thanks so much. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Sabine, with Matt Beers. And tonight, it's the Roughnecks from Calgary. We saw them 4-7, the Rush 4-9, so they've got 2 games in hand. They've already beat the Rush twice this season, as you'll see in the season series here. But how have you seen the season series? It's not as easy as 2 Calgary wins, is it?
It's been a lot closer than the scores show, and the scores have been pretty damn close there. It's a 1-goal game, and again, Saskatchewan was up by 1 in Calgary on St. Patrick's Day. Bad 4th quarter cost them the game. It's as simple as that. One bad stretch of lacrosse cost them that win in Calgary when they were up 11-10 going into it. So tonight, you know what? You know you're going to get the best from Christian Del Bianco. We don't need to talk about that and beat a dead horse. He plays phenomenal against Saskatchewan. But what you do need is you need better goaltending between the pipes, because so far this season against Calgary, penny and shoot, they haven't been able to give you 700 plus in between the pipes. If they get that, if they get what we know they can give in between the pipes, Saskatchewan's going to win this one at home.
Well, we got that last week from this group and from Eric Penny, a phenomenal outing in goal for Saskatchewan. As you got to look at the boys warming up right now. They will be in the beautiful Sask Vegas jerseys coming up the next time they hit the floor here prior to the opening face-off tonight. It is Vegas night for Dakota Dunes Casino on the concourse and in the building here tonight. But to the Calgary-Saskatchewan matchup, let's look at the betting odds, and the lines would reflect how well Saskatchewan's played in the season series and also them playing here at home. They're the favorites.
Saskatchewan is the favorites, but it's a lot closer than we've seen in the past, and that's due to Calgary having that extra desperation too. They're making a playoff push here. It's not going to be easy for Saskatchewan at home, but the gap is a lot closer. The over-under, set at 22.5. I think that's perfect for this one. I can't even pick an over-under because I got no clue where it's going. Calgary at +1.5 is -154. So they believe I think it's pretty cool, but yeah, it is. So they believe that Calgary's going to keep it close. We're going to see a 1-goal game here. Saskatchewan still the favorite at -133. That means you got to put $133 down to make 100. I don't know. You can't even ask me what I'm going to bet on tonight or where I would bet.
Well, you got some time to figure that out. We'll revisit the betting odds coming up a little bit later on. Yeah, it's crazy, especially on the over-under, because when we expect lots of goals, we get a few. When we expect a few, we get a lot. So
I'm pretty sure the past few I've said, it's going to be over, it's going to be over. We got 15 goals against Rochester. I got no clue what I'm talking about here.
Well, speaking of the Rush and the Rochester Nighthawks, they met here in Saskatoon 1 week ago. Let's visit the Rush replay. Goaltending show here tonight.
Here's Cornwall in transition. Score!
pass. Courier comes down with it. Almost like they're playing jackpot. Courier fires from downtown to double the winner performance from him. Well, here it is. Matt Beers! That's a first-class flight through the crease. And Keenan now to the middle. Gets a pick and he scores! The twine tinkler for Ryan Keenan. Gets a nice little... Palace has some room. Fires and scores! Marshall Palace has his first in the National League. And the ball 6 to get something done. Evans sub shot scores. Turner Evans with his night now. Smith shoots and scores. Ryan Smith, the rookie, cuts the lead to 3.
I love the way they're moving the ball offensively on the power play, but they're waiting.
Right-hand side, Bobby Kinn the third now gets his assignment, and they got another one. Charlie Bertrand, the American, walks it up. 5 to put something on goal, and he does from an impossible angle. Ryan Keenan rips for Keenan. Patrick watch Keenan to the net. Throw those hats. Ryan Keenan puts it past Watson and puts this. Smith now towards the net, shoots it against Calgary Thursday. Keenan's out in front and he scores! Make it 4! Ryan Keenan in his 4th year in the league, lighting it up tonight at the side. Is going through him, and boy, is he going to be a special player. And Catoni's got one back. 8-5's the score now.
Holden Catoni is showing an ability and a desire to shoot the ball in this game tonight. And now he gets...
Matthews again steering the ship on the power play, and Keenan counted 5. That's the first power play goal of the game, and Ryan Keenan says, I want more. On the line as we wind it down at the SaskTel Center, and Smith scores. No hats are going to be on the floor, but that's his hat trick, and Ryan Smith brings him within 3 again.
Well, huge 9-6 win for the Rush last week as they try and get on a push here to climb back into a playoff spot in the National Lacrosse League. Cody, Ryan Keenan, what more can you say about the Rush forward?
He stole the show. Coming into the game, he only had 10 goals this season. So for him to pop off with 5, that was huge for his confidence, and especially in a game where Jeff Shatler was sitting on the sidelines. So at a time the lefties needed someone to step up, Ryan Keenan was that go-to guy.
Yeah, Ryan Keenan absolutely was with 5 goals, and right now he's standing down on the floor with Sabine.
That's right. Sorry, it's starting to get a little louder down here, so I'm going to maybe start using my outside voice. I got forward Ryan Keenan with me. Ryan, star of last Saturday night's game. Are you still on the high from last night, Saturday's game?
Yeah, feeling confident going into this. That was a big one for us. Big confidence booster, I think, for myself, and we just got to keep it rolling.
Talk to me more about the confidence booster for you. You scored 5 goals last game, and how are you going to keep that momentum going for yourself?
Just got to shoot with authority, shoot with confidence, and move the ball like I know I can, and hopefully the results will come with that.
I talked with your teammate earlier, Matt Beers, talking about the importance of winning the next coming up games to get into the playoffs. How is the team feeling heading into this game tonight?
Well, we're just treating every game like we're already in the playoffs. It's a must-win. The guys are loose. They feel good. And we believe in each other, believe in the group as a whole. So, we've lost 2 against these guys already this year, and we definitely don't plan on losing a 3rd.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you, Sabine, with Ryan Keenan, who had 5 goals last week. Cody, tell me about Ryan at this morning's shoot-around.
So I got to watch shoot-around this morning, and the one thing I noticed, Darren, he was locked in. Like Ryan Keenan, I've seen every shoot-around at home this season and a lot on the road too. I haven't seen him in this type of mode. He was dialed in after practice. He's still working on his game. He's still getting his shots. He's getting his feet ready. And this looks like a different player than we saw at the start of the season. So I expect nonetheless from maybe not 5 goals, right? You can't expect that every night. But this is a guy who's feeling himself right now, and I love to see that out of a player who had a tough start offensively.
Well, if the Rush are going to get into the playoffs and have success down the stretch, they'll need more than just the Churches and the Matthews. They need guys like Ryan Keenan to step up. Austin Murphy stepped up the last time these teams were in Calgary. And Marshall Palace last weekend had his first NLL goal.
He had his first goal, and it was awesome. I got to catch up with him on the podcast, too. Go check it out, Rush Hour Podcast, presented by Original 16. Go download it. But Marshall was awesome, and he talked about it, just how big it was. Yeah, nice plug, eh, Dave? Thanks. The producer's giving me a hard time on that one. Hey, Marshall was awesome, though, to talk to. You got the whole backstory on him, and just scoring that first goal, how much it meant to him. He's a young kid playing in this league. It's intimidating playing in as a 20, 21-year-old. So for him to get his first one was huge, but he's not in the lineup tonight. We'll break that one. Marshall Palace not going to be in the lineup tonight, held out of it, COVID-related. That's what we are being told, at least. It's COVID-related. So he's not going to be in the lineup. Unfortunate, but again, he's a young player. His time will come.
Yeah, it looked really good and really happy for him to get that first goal. Hey, it is casino night here in the SaskTel Center. It's the Sask Vegas jerseys. They're wearing them. What happens in Saskatoon stays in Saskatoon, Cody, except this jersey. We're going to send this somewhere to somebody watching on either Facebook or YouTube. So we say hello to everybody who's watching right now and tell you to get your comments in. We're going to give that jersey away here before the night is over. More to come here as you're enjoying the Original 16 Happy Hour and Rush Hour Live, the pregame show before the Rush and the Roughnecks tonight.
Saskatchewan is cold. So cold that you'll often hear locals ask each other, is it cold enough for you? The bold and brave, they'll already know the answer to this question. Saskatchewan is cold enough. Cold enough to cover our land with new possibilities, to freeze time and place and create long-lasting memories. Cold enough to make us appreciate the warmth of others and bring our communities even closer together. Sure, it can be a bit uncomfortable at times. You're going to have to do some shoveling, scrape some ice off your windshield, and you're definitely going to need to wear a toque, but that's all part of the fun. It's about dressing right and preparing for the adventure. So bundle up and embrace the season. Saskatchewan, cold enough.
Sask Lacrosse welcomes boys and girls of all ages to try lacrosse. Looking for a new sport this summer? Lacrosse is the answer. Fun, exciting, action-packed. The game of lacrosse provides an environment for personal and athletic development that brings players back year after year. Join the lacrosse family by visiting sasklacrosse.net/content/associations to find a club near you. Make this summer count. Make this summer lacrosse.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year.
So me being a player, that's one journey, but I'm going to be moving into being a coach with the Chat Lacrosse Academy, and I have the opportunity to go to First Nations across the province and meet some really, really cool kids at the grassroots level, and then also through public and Catholic schools, and we get the opportunity to, share the game and share the history of it and what it means to our people, and how long the game's been around, and you tell them stories. I was just out in Ala Lacrosse, and I was told a story that French settlers came through and they were on their ship and they saw two grown adults, native men, playing the game of lacrosse, and they called it, hence the reason, Island of Lacrosse. And unfortunately the game it disappeared on them, but what we're trying to do now throughout the province is bring that game back to our people and let them know that they're a part of something, and this is a part of our history, and that we need to keep teaching it as long as we know the game is around, and if we keep pushing it to our grassroots levels, I think the game will grow, especially amongst our people.
There's the Rush warming up as they get set to take on the Calgary Roughnecks tonight. Yeah, Jeff Shatler is down there somewhere. He's back in the lineup for the Rush tonight. So that's exciting if you're coming to the game or going to watch at home on TSN, the game on TSN Direct tonight. Rita's watching on Facebook, says her husband and her are missing their first game in forever, and we hope that you enjoy it either way, watching at home. We say hello to Ryan Horbe, who's watching as well, and says, Go Rush. It is casino night for Dakota Dunes Casino here in Saskatoon. We're giving away the jersey for Sask Vegas. We're going to be wearing these in the warm-ups tonight, so stay tuned. Coming up before 7 o'clock, we're going to be giving you a chance to win those jerseys on the Facebook and YouTube live conversations. 50-50 tickets are still available right now at saskrush.ca. The jackpot's up over $2,000. I think the doors are just opened. If not, fans are starting to make their way in here for the happy hour. So
everyone's getting their $5 beers first. Let's be real.
They're getting the $5
or they're
happy
playing
hour.
Original games.
Original 16 on the casino games.
I don't mind them.
But, you know, as we get set to take on the Roughnecks tonight, this is a big game that means a lot for both these teams in the standings.
Yeah, you got to pick up that fifth. When we've talked about it for the Rush, you got to be, probably 4-1 to close out the season. You got to get to 8-10 here if you want a chance at playoffs. It all starts tonight.
All right, more to set the scene from down on the floor with Sabine. She's standing by with Jeff Shatler.
Okay, I feel like the first most important question tonight, if you could be taking in any of these Vegas games, what would be the game you'd be playing?
I play every one of them. I can't wait to get back out there. Had to miss the last one, but I'm very excited to get back out there with the boys and see what we got. It's a playoff game tonight. We lose, our fate's in our own hands, I feel like. So if we win out, who knows what happens. Let the lacrosse gods do what they may.
I mean, the feeling has been with the other teammates that I've spoken with that you're heading in as if you're already in the playoffs. So talk to me about the team mentality and as a leader, what your message is to the team.
Just stay positive, stay together. We move together, we win together, we lose together. This whole season has been done together. So whether it was for the best or for the worst, I think that we've had a lot of learning already, and I believe that we are playing each game like it's a playoff game now. And I think that if we get in, we're going to have an advantage over most teams.
Last question, if we're talking about emotions, understanding the importance of this, how do you keep your emotions in check and just focus on the game?
Enjoy the moment, enjoy that shift, just beat your guy. One-on-one game all the way across the board. Do your job and don't worry about anybody else. I think if we do that and stick to that game plan, I think that defense will take care of itself, offense will take care of itself, and our goalie, Penny, will shut the door.
Okay, last question, blackjack, roulette, what's your game?
Oh, blackjack all day.
All right, thanks so much. Good luck, Jeff.
I'm glad you cleared that up, Sabine, because I wasn't quite sure at the beginning, but we got it sorted out. Every lacrosse game's important, and he's a blackjack guy. Me too, so that's good. I knew Jeff and I were kindred spirits, but, every game's a playoff game. He mentioned that right now, and they're going to be dangerous if they get in. He's right, because they're playing all these must-win games down the stretch, and they're playing playoff lacrosse already.
Has to be that way, and it was in practice yesterday, right from the get-go. It was everything's playoffs for us now. Everyone's reiterating the same message, and there seemed to be a lot more life on the Saskatchewan side. Not that Calgary wasn't that upbeat this morning, but there was a different vibe when you watch the Russian shoot-around, maybe an extra urgency to it, and I like to see that. I like to see guys realize the moment of, hey, we've said must-win 3 times now. Now it really becomes, if you lose a game, your playoff chances could be done.
Yeah, you really are bang on with that. And now, the intensity, the emotion was there last week, too, something maybe we haven't seen a lot of throughout the entire season, including the captain, Chris Corbeil dropping the mitts. It was the fight of the year. That's been missing from this group, hasn't it?
100%. I heard it on Off the Crossbar podcast, too. They were talking about, how Corbs is kind of a unlikely combatant, and Bertrand, the rookie, steps up there after a hit on Beers. But it's also something where, at that point in time in the game, Rochester was kind of getting going. So it did spark a little bit of life, and I hope to see the physical play continue tonight for Saskatchewan, because if Calgary can take it to Saskatchewan physically, they're going to win the game, because that's not a team that should be out-muscling anyone in green.
Yeah, so that'll be important to watch tonight. But for now, more from downstairs. Let's hear from the coach of the Rush, Jeff McComb.
You had the week to look back on the Calgary game. What did you see in that film?
Yeah, I thought we had, again, similar to a lot of our year, I thought we were really good in points, and there was 5 or 6 plays that we had some breakdowns that cost us, and I thought offensively we were pretty good against Calgary, but it was a game I thought defensively we could have been better in a couple areas.
How about the Rochester one, and especially those last 3 quarters where they did outside?
Yeah, some of the factored back-to-back games or 2 games in a weekend, right? And a little bit of fatigue there. I liked our start. I liked our energy. Defensively and goaltending, I thought we were excellent. But again, I think, we've seen that throughout the year. We have to find ways to score goals in the second half, and we're still working on that.
What do you think 2 games from Penny?
You know, I thought he was probably okay in Calgary, and he'd tell you that, but I thought he was really good against Roch. And, you know, for the most part, since he's been here, he's given us a chance to win every game, which is what you want from your goaltender.
Tough 2 games against Calgary so far this season. What's got to change?
Yeah, I mean, they're one of our biggest rivals, right? And we know them very well. They know us really well. And it comes down to the little things. And as I said, I think we have to clean up just those 4 or 5 kind of mistakes that we made in Thursday night, and I think we'll be fine.
Do you think the physicality changes the way you guys play, where against Rochester in some of those games you played a little bit more physical?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you ask that. I think our 2 San Diego games, I think, has been probably the most physical we've played on defense. And I think when we play teams like Rochester and Panther City the first time, who hasn't seen us a lot, I think our pressure in that surprises some teams and our physicalness. But I mean, against a team like Calgary that's seen us 100 times, it's not gonna surprise them.
How do you slow down King and Dixon?
Well, you know, both are really, really good players, and you know, King's having an excellent year, like both taking the ball to the net and passing it, and Dixon's always been the top 1 or 2 threat in the league in terms of one-on-one and that, and I don't think you're ever going to shut them down completely, and it's limit them, and I thought we did a pretty good job on both those guys last weekend. Maybe we do a little bit better job on King, but Dixon, I think, only had 1 in the game last weekend, and if we can do a job like that on him, I think we'll be successful.
Good thoughts from the coach, Jeff McComb, with Cody earlier in the weekend. Cody, what did you take away from the conversation with the coach?
Well, I want to touch on that last comment where he says, hey, you're never going to shut down King and Dixon fully, but you have to do a little bit of a better job on them, and that comes down to the veterans. If you think about the guys who are going to have to shut down King, that's Dilks, that's Rubish. Those are the guys who are really going to be the difference makers when it comes down to stopping Calgary's big guns. We'll hear from Dan Taylor later on as well, who does talk about their offense a little bit, but when it comes to covering Dixon, some of those times you've got Garland back there, you've got Kidd the Third. It's not always Chris Corbeil watching them. So for some of those young guys, it's a tough task out there. But so far, really, they've been up to the challenge, especially that St. Patrick's Day game. You hold them to 10 3/4. All of a sudden in the fourth, that's where it went haywire.
Yeah, it absolutely did. In the fourth quarter, Rush were right there, put up a lot of shots, played well, just didn't work out in their favor in the end. Want to say good evening to Carter, who's watching. Says, let's go Rush. Don is watching as well, so we say hello to everybody watching on Facebook. And let us know what you think is going to happen in the game tonight. We want to get your thoughts, and we're going to really look for your thoughts coming up here shortly. You'll get ours, too, on who we think is going to win, who we think is going to score first. And in there somewhere, coming up later on, we're going to give you a chance to win that Saskatchewan Rush warm-up jersey. But, you know, as the Rush gets set to take on the Roughnecks tonight, Cody, we look at the schedule, and we always come back to the schedule because this has been the crucial part of the whole schedule. 5 in a row at home. After tonight, there's 3 left. They've won the first one tonight, trying to continue to take care of business. But there's a couple games in here down the stretch that you got your eye on.
So I've said it a million times already at least, but you got to go 4-1 down the stretch here. Tonight a must-win against Calgary. But the 2 games out of those 4 you have to win, without doubt, is Vancouver and Panther City. You can afford maybe 1 loss against Colorado or San Diego. Still going to hurt your chances. You'd love to go 5-0 to finish it out. But right now, you got to go 4-1, and you got to hope that tiebreaker, if there is one, it's between Vancouver and Panther City, and you have to win those season series. It's as simple as that, because right now, you don't have the season series against Calgary. You still got a chance to win it against Colorado and San Diego, but very unlikely you're going to be tied with them for 3rd when the end of the dance is done.
Yeah, that's going to be really important tonight to make sure you take care of business at home. Rush doing everything they can to make sure they stay in the playoff conversation. Another good evening to Angela, Cindy, and everybody else who's jumped into the chat here and into the show tonight. We say hello and welcome. You're getting a good look at your Rush right now, getting set to hit the floors. Cody mentioned no Marshall Powless in the lineup for the Rush. Jeff Shattler is back in and ready to go tonight.
One of the interesting points, too, sorry to cut you off there. So you mentioned Powless is out. They're also going to be without Keenan and Quinlan behind the bench. And so Calgary's, they got their own issues, too. We'll dive into their roster later. But for Saskatchewan, you're not going to see Quinlan or Keenan behind the bench tonight. Again, protocols and such, taking them out of the lineup. So a little bit of a different look for the Rush. But again, they're in, McComb, Televi, they're in pretty trustworthy hands behind the bench. I don't think that's going to change the game by any means. Just a note if you're watching from home.
Yeah, good thing to watch for sure. That will play into it, absolutely. Especially, Derek and they're 2 very vocal guys on the bench. they carry a lot of influence, right? And they push a lot of buttons.
Definitely, and I mean, Jimmy's a very vocal guy back there too, but, Jeff McComb's run the offense for how many years? He's one of the best at drawing up plays. I'm kind of excited to see him maybe stand by the old guys again and draw something up, have a little bit of an extra voice specifically towards the old guys. So we'll really see where it goes, but from an offensive perspective, you get Shatler back in the lineup, didn't play against Rochester. Austin Murphy had a great game against Calgary, he had a hat trick on St. Patty's Day. And Robert Church, what more can you say about it? We had 4-4 against Calgary the last time.
Yeah.
So this offense, as long as you're spreading around the scoring, sharing the love a little bit, this is a must-win game, but it's also a very winnable game.
Absolutely. Looking for a great performance here tonight. Hope you're enjoying Vegas night. If you're in the building right now and streaming us on your smartphone, let us know which games you're playing down in the concourse, or if you're playing more table games inside the O16 lounge. But for now, from the Humboldt Broncos to Wheatfields and the journey in between, let's visit the face mask of Rush prospect goaltender Cameron Dunkerley.
So this was the first helmet paint job I've actually ever gotten, so there's a lot of kind of details that I tried to cram in all in the one helmet here. So to start, I wanted the main focus of the helmet to be a tribute to the Humboldt Broncos. Of course, with us playing here in Sask and being so close to Humboldt, I wanted to kind of recognize that tragedy that happened. So across the whole top of the helmet, I have a Humboldt Broncos tribute with the logo along with all of the names of everybody who passed in that kind of tragedy there. So that's the main focus of the helmet. And then as you move down the side of it, you see wheat, a bunch of wheat fields. That's a tribute to the province of Saskatchewan itself. Below that, there's a bunch of road signs. So those road signs are the street names of a bunch of important places to getting me here to play for the Rush. So a bunch of arenas that I played at in junior lacrosse, my home address, as well as the billets that I lived at when I went out to Victoria. And then when you kind of go down to the chin, it's kind of a cool story. You see a clover field there. When I went to Victoria to play junior for the Shamrocks, the first thing they gave me was a Shamrock sticker with my number 88 on it. So I put that on my chin. That was the first thing that they gave me, and that was the only thing I really had on my helmet for the 2 years I was there. So I kind of wanted to just bring that back in this paint job so you can see the clover with the 88 right there on the chin, and then the field kind of going up the side there. And then at the back, all the players this year have the Every Child Matters sticker on the back. So I just wanted to kind of really focus the back of the helmet with that. So pretty much the entire back there is showing that Every Child Matters handprint.
Really cool stuff from Cameron Dunkerley, the one of the top prospects for the Saskatchewan Rush in goal. Won't play tonight, but love that mask, the Humboldt Broncos, the Wheatfields, and I like the signs of all the different places that matter to him and his journey. We talked a lot about the standings, Cody. We haven't talked about the crossover at all and the implications that play tonight.
So I got a quick update on that. We haven't dove into it. We'll dive a little bit more into the playoffs later on. But one of the big things is the fifth team in the East couldn't cross over into the West, and right now that's Albany. And right now, the New York Riptide are up 8-4 on Albany. So another, chance that an Eastern team could help out Saskatchewan's chances if they can pull off an upset of Albany tonight.
So we need New York to win that game.
Yes, cheer for the Riptide.
So cheering for New York, who have a lead right now. Well, tonight's opponent is the Calgary Roughnecks. You'll get a look at them down on the floor. They're warming up. Christian Del Bianco in goal is a force, but tonight's visitor viewpoint is with Dan Taylor.
What did you like about your guys' game on St. Patty's Day against the Rush?
I thought it was a complete effort. I think we played a full 60 minutes. That's something we've been trying to focus on this year, is getting some consistency and not having those lapses in the game. And I thought we put it together well. We invested in the grind, as we say, and obviously got the result we wanted.
2-0 against the Rush this year. Where are you seeing the success mostly?
I think, like I said, it's in the effort and investing in the game where everybody's doing their job, we're performing our roles, and with that comes success because guys are being unselfish. So I think that's what's led to success. Saskatchewan's a very good team, and you really have to invest best to beat them. So I think that's where we found our success.
Del Bianco's had a couple of great games, his 2 best of the season against Saskatchewan. Do you see him elevate his game when he plays Saskatchewan?
Well, I think he elevates his game anytime there's a big game. That's exactly what he does. He's a talented guy, and obviously he has the pedigree to back that up. But I think it's knowing how lethal their shooters are on that team that he just brings that extra energy, and we really feed off that as a team.
Coming back to Saskatchewan, obviously they traded you in 2018. Any bitterness or anything when you come here, that extra motivation to win?
I've played him enough times since that's kind of faded a little bit, but there's always motivation when you're playing Saskatchewan from Calgary. And, obviously I want to go out and do well every single game. So whether it's Saskatchewan or whether it's someone else, I'm going to be giving my full effort.
What's it like playing in the SaskTel Center as the away team?
It's a lot different than playing as the home team. It's a loud crowd. They're into the game. They're invested. And so it's a fun place to play, so I've always enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, Dan Taylor, always a threat for the Calgary Roughnecks. He's going to be a big story tonight. They've got 2 wins already in 2 meetings against the Saskatchewan Roughs, so a big, important game here between these two as we bring you back up to our set and take a look at tonight's stats story. We won't see Dan Taylor's name on this page. You'll see Church and Matthews and a couple of really big stars for Calgary as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dixon's been phenomenal. He's got 20 goals this season. King's also a machine. He had 3 and 3 the last time they played. He's got 40 this season. Matthews, Church, they're both up there in power play points for league leads. But it's the face-off. That's where things stick out. Mike Messenger at 50.3% really upped it from the start of his season. He's improved a ton. Tyler Burton was Calgary's go-to guy this season, but he's out. He's on the IR. They put him on the IR this morning. So it goes to Zach Currier now. The thing about Zach Currier, he's at over 58% on the draws this year. They're not just throwing in a random kid there. They're throwing in a guy who's in MVP talks because he's an absolute loose ball machine on the ball team. And what else can you say about Zach Currier? He finds his offense whenever he plays the rush. He elevates his game when he plays his brother Josh. And so now, Zach, you put him on the line tonight against Messenger. It's going to be an all-out bloodbath.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Mike Messenger has been really good in the face-off circle for Saskatchewan. Excuse me. But Zach Currier will be part of that. We've got the jersey to give away coming up here still before 7 o'clock. So make sure you're getting it on the Facebook feed. And we're going to say hello to Angela, Nathan, who's now watching on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to give this thing away.
Sask Vegas is the place to be tonight. Down at concourse level and everything. There's games going on. There's $5 beers. I'm seeing the fans coming in. They're having a good time, Darren. This is where you got to be on a Saturday night. Sask Vegas, nothing like it.
Rush are still on the floor. They're not in the Sask Vegas casino night jerseys yet, but they will be, and we're going to give this one away coming up shortly. Still about 25 minutes to go here in the Rush Hour Live pregame show, and we'll be back on YouTube and Facebook Live after this.
Saskatchewan is cold. So cold that you'll often hear locals ask each other, is it cold enough for you? The bold and brave, they'll already know the answer to this question. Saskatchewan is cold enough. Cold enough to cover our land with new possibilities, to freeze time and place and create long-lasting memories. Cold enough to make us appreciate the warmth of others and bring our communities even closer together. Sure, it can be a bit uncomfortable at times. You're going to have to do some shoveling, scrape some ice off your windshield, and you're definitely going to need to wear a toque. But that's all part of the fun. It's about dressing right and preparing for the adventure. So bundle up and embrace the season. Saskatchewan, cold enough.
Sask Lacrosse welcomes boys and girls of all ages to try lacrosse. Looking for a new sport this summer? Lacrosse is the answer. Fun, exciting, action-packed. The game of lacrosse provides an environment for personal and athletic development that brings players back year after year. Join the lacrosse family by visiting sasklacrosse.net/content/associations to find a club near you. Make this summer count. Make this summer lacrosse.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year.
means to me and where it came from for me is, my family. My stepdad, Dave, he wanted me to try the game of lacrosse, and I didn't really know much about it. I wanted to play soccer, believe it or not, and my father told me, you're going to try out the game of lacrosse. It's a part of your history. It's a part of your heritage. It's it's a part of your people, and I didn't really think too much of it when I first started playing lacrosse. And as I got older, I started playing with Team Iroquois, and I started meeting the Thompson brothers, my buddy Brett Bucktooth, and Gawas Schindler, and I started learning a lot more about the game and what it means to our people and the medicine of it. And I sort of realized that because I was always an angry kid, and after I played the game of lacrosse, I always felt better inside and out, basically. You let out a lot of frustration. There's a lot of joy in it. You get to meet people, travel, enjoy experiences that I've never thought I would ever be able to visit, like Australia, Europe, all through the States, Canada. So the game has done so much for me, and for me to be a part of it still to this day, it means a lot. I know my time's coming to an end, but when one door closes, another one opens. So I know a lot of our youth coming up has a lot of talent, not only in this province, but across Canada. And it's going to be a cool ride to watch from the stands instead of being on the floor.
The Saskatchewan Rush are on the floor getting set tonight to take on the Calgary Roughnecks as we welcome you back to the Rush Hour Live pregame show. And how about that jersey right there as they head off? Casino night, got the playing cards on the jersey, and we have a limited edition Sask Vegas jersey that we will be giving away to one of you tonight. Check it out. It's the exact same thing that the Rush are wearing right now during the warm-ups for Dakota Dunes Casino. We got table games on the concourse, blackjack, roulette. It's in the 016 lounge as well. So, Cody, it's a fun night to be at the SaskTel Center.
Sask Vegas, no better place to be on a Saturday night. I've said it again, and I'll keep saying it, because the National Lacrosse League is a better place than Saskatoon, and we get treated to a game that is basically playoffs tonight. Let's be real. Whoever loses this game, their chance to be in the dance is 1%. It just goes out the door. There is a chance you get in. I mean, I'm being over dramatic here. You got to win out, though. But for Saskatchewan, if you end up 8-10, you can't be in a tiebreaker with Calgary because you're going to lose that season series here, of course. So you got to be in a tie with Vancouver and Panther City.
Yeah, getting to 8 wins is really crucial down the stretch here for the Saskatchewan Rush. And for Calgary, too, at 4 wins. You noticed on the standings, they have 2 games in hand on Saskatchewan. They already have 2 wins against Saskatchewan, so they control the season series as well. As you take a look now, this is the 2 games these 2 teams have played. Most recently on St. Patrick's Day, a tough 2-goal loss for the Rush, a game in which Austin Murphy had a hat-trick. Robert Church went 4-4. It's not country night. That was last weekend.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's cut that.
A couple weeks ago. But you know what I mean? Really tough, especially when they're playing good in those games.
And we mentioned Murphy with the hat trick, Robert Church. One guy who stuck out to me in Calgary, you were there too, Dan Littner had a good game. That's a guy who is quiet against Rochester too. We got to see him get going. That is a guy who is so important to this Rush offense. If he can get going, if he can provide a little bit of a spark along with a guy like Jeff Shatler, now that's your offensive depth really helping out. So you're not relying on Robert Church for an 8-point night. You're not relying on Ryan Keenan for 5 goals. You got to spread the love a little bit, and guys like Littner, Courier, Murphy, they got to step up here.
Yeah, they really do. So that'll be interesting. As you look at the betting odds, though, tonight, they reflect how well Saskatchewan's played as of late and how close those games were, but they really respect the Calgary Roughnecks at the same time.
Well, I mean, we can't bet on these games. We're not allowed to. But Saskatchewan, they're really not that heavy of favorites here. The odds makers are saying, hey, we think Calgary's got a chance. They're playing desperate. They're 4-7, and they've beat the Rush twice this year. So what have the Rush shown to have that advantage in the, the books? Well, they're at home. Well, they've been buzzing. They're coming off a win. Where Calgary's coming off a loss to Panther City, where frankly, they didn't look good at all. Christian Del Bianco has been a totally different goaltender against Saskatchewan this year compared to other teams where he struggled in games, to be frank. And against Saskatchewan, he's been an 8-15+ goaltender.
22.5 goals is the over-under right now. Have you decided which way you're going on that?
I think, quick math in my head right now, putting me on the spot, calculator style. I think I'll go the over. I think there's going to be, 23 plus. Sounds sorry. I think we'll see goals.
26 the last time these two teams played. It was in Calgary, so I'll take the over as well on that one. Austin Murphy had 3 goals in that game, and now let's catch up with the rush forward.
Going into Calgary here this weekend, you had a good game against them Thursday. What do you got to keep up for that?
I think we just got to make sure we keep our feet moving, space them out, get them to the board, set good back picks, and then things seem to open up on offense when we do that. So probably stick with that, and then implemented some new stuff that hopefully we can trick them on here. So yeah.
First career hat trick in the league. What was your thoughts?
It's just kind of don't even really notice, honestly. Just another game when I think we went up by 1 there, but end of the game we still lost, so still need more, so don't really pay attention to that stuff too much. But yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling after when you realize, but yeah, in game didn't really notice.
Walk me through your first goal. I want to know what you saw in that play where you get the low tie.
Well, honestly, on the bench there, Churchy and I were talking about it, and we were talking about running off the 2-man game, and I told them basically if they line up to the left of you, like your guy, I'm going to take them under. I'm just going to reject the pick, and then sure enough, they looked up at Churchy, and I saw a lane, and I just took it under, and then when I got to the crease, I jumped because I was out of space.
Your season's been up and down, but how do you feel you've adjusted so far going into the second half here?
It's been tough. A lot of one goal losses, and just a couple plays here and there where we don't play 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and that makes a huge difference in this league. So, I mean, that happened over and over again, and we're starting to get some bounces now. We believe in the group. Coaches didn't make any moves at the deadline, so that's a good move. And yeah, everyone believes here. So hopefully in the second half here we can make a run, and we'll be in. And then it's a whole new game once you get to playoffs. So.
Quiet night for the righties against Rochester. What do you got to do differently?
I think we just got to get our heads up a little bit more, honestly. We had lots of chances there, off-ball looks, on-ball looks. We just didn't capitalize and didn't find the open guys at times. Happens sometimes. Just got to roll with the punches and find a way.
Good stuff from Austin Murphy. Well, you say hello to everybody watching once again. I think that's Jaden Weens watching on YouTube, of the Saskatoon Blades. Hi, Jaden. If it is you, congratulations. The Blades have now clinched a playoff spot in the Western Hockey League.
What a crowd they had last night, too.
7,500 in here yesterday with all the kids in the building. So great stuff, Jaden. They're asking if that's a new score clock over our shoulders. Yes, it is. Installed a few games ago, so that's really exciting. Shaylin, yes, the game is on TV tonight, but the digital version. TSN will have the game on TSN Direct. Sabine, Cody, and I will be on the call, so you can watch that. Just sign in with your information from your cable provider. But it's only one of a few games happening as you take a look at that beautiful score clock that the Rush have installed in the building. It's awesome for the people of Saskatoon, and I know our friends at IKS Media did a great job. Paul and his crew, I know Paul's watching right now, really proud of his work on the score clock. But as we mentioned, the game tonight on TSN Direct, it's one of just a few games as we look around the NLL on the NLL schedule. We already talked about the New York Albany game and New York doing us some favors. Are they still, Cody? Can we look at an update on the other 5 games in the league?
So they're just getting ready to start the third quarter there. New York's still up 8-4. Jeff Teets going off. Philly's up 9-4 on Rochester. One final from today. Buffalo. They beat Halifax. That's a huge win because they got to play again tomorrow. And Buffalo, they're running away. They've clinched a playoff spot now. They're the top team in the league. I would say they're number 1. San Diego's number 2. But for Halifax, they're on a 3-game slide. This team does not look like, and it's trouble in paradise for them too. They got guys who are out the door, which is a shocking turn of events this week.
Yeah, tell me about Kyle Jackson.
Well, it's weird parting ways a little bit with, we don't know the full story. Obviously, things have gone a little sour in Halifax, but Jackson decides, hey, I want to pursue other opportunities. Maybe the team says, hey, I think you should pursue other opportunities. He ends up, and it's not even like he was traded for anything. They just straight up dropped him, said, hey, go find a new team. So he ends up in Philly, and there was a lot of Rush fans asking me about KJ, and that's why I did want to talk about it a little bit. I think there's some benefit there. He had great years like 2018 in Rochester. This guy was a difference maker with Cody Jamieson. But for this Rush roster right now, I didn't see it being the perfect fit, whether it's travel or the actual roster. I like seeing a couple of these young guys get looks like Pallas, who right now is in a perfect spot to learn from a Jeff Shattler. So I don't think the KJ addition makes sense. And I guess Keenan kind of thought the same, or at least Jackson did too, because he goes to Philly instead.
Yeah, a tough one, but we'll see where that how that all shakes out. Hey, this is available. We're going to be giving this away in the next segment. The Sask Vegas Vegas-themed jerseys for the game tonight. Casino night for Dakota Dunes Casino. Do they got them on yet? They're not quite back out on the floor yet, but when they will, they'll have these on. We're going to give you a chance to win. So comment now if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook with who you think's going to score the first goal for the Rush tonight. Sabine's going to join us next. Cody and I and Sabine will give you our thoughts, but tell us now who you think is going to score tonight's first goal for the Saskatchewan Rush, and you could win the Sask Vegas jersey. Back one final time here on the Rush Hour Live, our pregame show ahead of the Rush and the Calgary Roughnecks tonight here in Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan is cold. So cold that you'll often hear locals ask each other, is it cold enough for you? The bold and brave, they'll already know the answer to this question. Saskatchewan is cold enough. Cold enough to cover our land with new possibilities, to freeze time and place and create long-lasting memories. Cold enough to make us appreciate the warmth of others and bring our communities even closer together. Sure, it can be a bit uncomfortable at times. You're gonna have to do some shoveling, scrape some ice off your windshield, and you're definitely gonna need to wear a toque, but that's all part of the fun. It's about dressing right and preparing for the adventure. So bundle up and embrace the season. Saskatchewan, cold enough.
Sask Lacrosse welcomes boys and girls of all ages to try lacrosse. Looking for a new sport this summer? Lacrosse is the answer. Fun, exciting, action-packed. The game of lacrosse provides an environment for personal and athletic development that brings players back year after year. Join the lacrosse family by visiting sasklacrosse.net/content/associations to find a club near you. Make this summer count. Make this summer lacrosse.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year.
Hey, welcome back, and we say hi to Sabine, did you get down to the concourse to play any of the games?
I had to, well, unfortunately I had to work, so I couldn't.
That sucks.
But I wanted to, right? There's always something holding me back, but I don't think I could do blackjack, so good on you if that's
You said roulette was your game,
I
yeah.
feel like it's like, I don't have any strategy. It's just easy because you just throw and something happens.
I see. Put your money on a number and hope it lands on it. I get it.
Or a color.
Roulette's a lot of fun, for sure. But what is the vibe? How's the atmosphere tonight?
Okay, I think I've said this every time I've been down there, but the more and more you're down there, you feel a family brother mentality when you're watching the Rush warming up. And you can see the crowd is starting to fill in, and the concourses, people are having a good time. You mentioned $5 beers. Who doesn't have a good time with that?
That doesn't hurt.
Right? So, yeah, it's a good vibe, but you also can sense that there is some seriousness, that there's a mission. They gotta win.
We've seen that extra intensity. How about Jeff Shattler, who missed last week's game, and he's back now? How did you feel, you had a chance to talk to him?
He's very, it's funny because knowing the importance of the next few games that they have, they gotta win, he's very laid back. It's almost like a vet thing, maybe.
Yeah, definitely a veteran player, to say the least. They do have that confidence, though. They know what they have in the dressing room, so it really shouldn't come as a surprise. But just the position they're in right now at 4-9, that's the unheard of thing for this team right now. They need changes. They got a couple things going in their favor roster-wise, though. I don't know. Do we want to break into that right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
We might as well. So your scratches for tonight for Saskatchewan, it's going to be Mike Mallory and Clark Walter, Kyle Waters, Reese Callies for Calgary. But Calgary without 3 guys as well. So you got Tyler Burton on IR. That's their face-off guy. That's their number 1 on the draw. Zach Courier, probably the best 1B face-off guy in the league, if we're being honest right now. Harrison Matsuoko, Alberta kid. I always love watching him play. He's only got 1, 2, and 3 on the year, but again, just you like to watch guys like that play in the prairies. And then also Nate Wade's out. They're both on the COVID list, as is Marshall Powless. So Powless gets his first goal against Rochester. That sucks.
I know.
You got to miss the next game. I feel bad for him. But again, the kid's going to bounce back. There's a load of skill in him.
He's going to have a lot of opportunities. It's still going to be Penny in goal.
Yes, still going to be. It's going to be Penny and Del Bianco. No surprise. We talked about it earlier. If they can get a big game from Penny, if Penny can, drop a 750, 770, they should be winning this ball game.
The over/under, Sabine, is set at 22.5. We were balancing this back and forth. What do you think's going to happen tonight?
You're asking me a question that's completely foreign to me, so I'm just going to say yes.
Yes, okay. That's good.
Smile and nod.
I love it. I love it. We had a couple minutes. Now, we asked everybody, and this is your last chance if you want to win this jersey, to get into the comments now and let us know who you think's going to score the first goal for the Rush, okay? And in a minute, I'll tell you how we're going to give this away. But a lot of comments are coming in from Mark Matthews to Ryan Keenan to Robert Church. They're all coming in right now. So, do you guys want to start with game predictions or first goals?
First goal. It's got to be first goal.
So, Cody, first goal tonight?
Why do I have to go first?
You want to go last?
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll go first. Hey, it's Jeff Shattler. He's going first. I don't know if you usually pick him.
I do.
But again, he's back. He's got fresh legs. He had a hat trick the first time these two teams met here. I think he's just going to be feeling it. It's time for him to show up clutch.
I went with Ryan Dilks last time. And actually, wasn't it Cornwall who scored first?
Yeah, it was.
So it wasn't that bad of a pick, right?
It wasn't.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna put it all on red again, on Dilks again. So I'm gonna go with Dilks.
I'm gonna say Church.
You got Church?
Yeah.
All right. So what people didn't realize is that we were gonna give away the first goal jersey to whoever Sabine picked for the first goal if it matched up. So if anybody said Robert Church,
shout out to Michelle.
You're going to win the jersey.
Michelle hit it on the head.
Michelle?
Yes, Michelle!
Yeah. All right, Michelle, you've got it. You said Robert Church. You matched up with Sabine. She had no idea we were going to do that. And so you're going to take home this jersey. We'll find a way to get it to you. I don't know how you're going to write down the name.
Just show up to the next game. Show up to the next game. We'll get it to you.
We're going to get that to you. So congratulations on that. Okay, final score tonight. I'll go first in this one. I'll say 15-12 Rush. Because I took the over, I'll say 15-12. Sabine?
13-12.
Okay.
Rush.
Oh, close one.
Yeah.
12-11. Rush went in overtime.
Whoa.
It's a playoff game here.
Did you say in overtime?
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be a close game. I just don't see any team really being able to run away with it. These are two damn good lacrosse teams we get to see. They both have 4 wins on the season. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It's going to be intense. We're going to see good goaltending, and I think we're going to get free lacrosse here inside the SaskTel Center.
Yeah, I think so too. That's going to be a really great tonight. Can we look at those standings one more time? Do we have that available? I'm putting you on the spot here, but our crew is awesome, and this is what we're looking at tonight as we're into the final minute and a half tonight. You've got the Rush and Calgary, deadlocked, 4 wins each. Calgary's got a couple games in hand. So this is really important tonight to try and get back into the playoffs. Cody says we got to get to 8 wins to have a chance, right?
Now's the time to make hay. You got to win 4 of your next 5, and you also got to hope a few games go in your favor. You want to be tied with Panther City or Vancouver if you get to that point, because you can't be tied with Calgary. They got the season series already. There's still hope, Rush Nation. We got 4 games here at home coming up, starting tonight. It's going to be a blast. It all starts. We've heard playoff mentality for the past, week plus. This is when it really comes down. The rubber's got to hit the road.
Yeah, we got to stay healthy. You're going to need production from everybody. Ryan Keenan came through last week with 5 goals. It was Robert Church before that. Jeff Shattler's back in the lineup. Sabine, final thought tonight?
I think they're just ready to go, and I think there's a great shot that they're going to win tonight.
You got to get more out of your goaltending right now. That's what it's going to come down to. Can Eric Penny, doesn't have to go save for save with Christian Del Bianco, but you got to make the timely ones, and in that fourth quarter, you got to shut the door.
You betcha. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Congratulations, Michelle, on winning the Sask Vegas jersey. Thanks to the Rush, the Roughnecks, for helping. The game's on TSN Direct tonight with us three. We'll see you there. Go Rush, go. Thanks for watching the Rush Hour Live, presented by Original 16.